अंडमान और निकोबार द्वीप समूह के मिनीबे स्थित सीशेल कोरल कोव में एक महत्वपूर्ण प्रशिक्षण कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ हुआ। भारतीय वन सेवा IFS के अधिकारियों के लिए जूलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया के अंडमान निकोबार क्षेत्रीय केंद्र द्वारा आयोजित एक सप्ताह के अनिवार्य प्रशिक्षण कोर्स द्वीपीय पारिस्थितिकी तंत्र में तटीय एवं समुद्री जैव विविधता का उद्घाटन 8 दिसंबर 2025 को हुआ। मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में उपस्थित भारत सरकार के पूर्व सचिव श्री जी बालचंद्रन IAS सेवानिवृत्त ने दीप प्रज्वलन के बाद अपने उद्घाटन भाषण में कहा कि अंडमान निकोबार विश्व के प्रमुख जैव विविधता हॉटस्पॉट्स में से एक है।
We are all, whether you work in a coastal state or a non-coastal state, we are all affected, impacted by what is happening around us. There was a time in the United States when there was a big fire and the president requested the fire extinguishers, men who came, and then he said, the entire country lies in your hands. That's for one emergency. But it can be rightly said about the Indian Forest Service as a permanent one. We repeatedly tell in any number of occasions that we are not the owners of this world, we are only the custodians, and we have to pass it on to the next generation. These are good words that are immediately forgotten after the meeting is over. We continue to destroy, we continue to demolish. Some of the rarest species of the world are in and around this region. How long? I don't know. You people are fighting. It's better to have fought and lost than not to have fought at all. I have known Dr. Sivaperuman for a very long time. We were colleagues. I was Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Environment and Forest, and at that time we were colleagues in the same ministry. And I have seen his enthusiasm as a young scientist. And I am glad to find that the enthusiasm still continues, and the youthfulness also still continues. Among all these specialists, as a generalist, I have nothing great to say. I am reminded of the English poet Tennyson, who said about the brook, men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. If that is true about the civil service, it's more true about the forest service. As I have already said, you are the protectors of biodiversity, and you carry on with a difficult job with a lot of perseverance and patience. While it's not wise or practical to directly confront the powers that be, in my service I have seen, if there are 10 good priorities which have to be attended to in your tenure, there can be confrontation only about 3. But the remaining 7, the other powers that be, either they are not aware, they are ignorant, or they don't bother. But concentrate on those 7. You will make the world still better. Every place, every station, when I used to get posted, I used to write to my colleagues, let's make this place slightly more beautiful than what it was when we joined. But when I joined as District Magistrate Howrah, I was compelled to write, let's make this place slightly less ugly than what it was when we joined, because it was such a bad place. But I had such good colleagues from all services that they tried their level best. The social forestry at that time, it was taken up with a lot of enthusiasm by young IFS officers who made a difference. And I have seen, normally it is said that who cares? It's not that nobody cares, but many people feel hopeless when one person comes with the authority and does something. I have found that people follow. That is how changes for the better take place. You have come maybe at a very opportune moment to attend to a very important subject, coastal and marine biodiversity of island ecosystem. Nobody is an island. The whole world comprises of different islands if you forget the concept of nation. So all islands are important, and Andaman and Nicobar are equally, if not more important. You have a lot to learn in these 7 days and a lot to teach also in these 7 days. I am very confident that this workshop will prove to be a very, very fruitful one. There was an academy director called Yuganthar in the National Academy of Administration, who was despite the age gap, he was a personal friend of mine. And there was an officer who was posted as Director ED. Before ED was given all these draconian powers, they were bothered only about 2 things. Illicit money coming from across the country, money that was born either out of corruption or out of drug traffic. These were the only 2 jobs. And he was an army officer who entered into the service. And he wanted a slot, and Yuganthar said, where is the slot? Everybody is coming. And how do I accommodate you? Then he said, nobody wants a slot between 2:30 to 4, because that is the time when probationers come to the lecture hall and sleep. So I will take that slot. That slot was given. Then for 3 years, he continued to come and always wanted only that slot. Then Dr. Yuganthar asked him, may I know why you wanted this particular slot? He said, sir, I want least competition, number 1. And number 2, amidst all this sleep, if there are 2 chaps who get awakened by what I am saying, that awakening will remain for the next 35 years, and that's very important to me. You see, we are as a civil service, how many? Maybe around 50,000 or 70,000 in the whole of India. But if these 70,000, 10% of it is determined to make a change, that will reach 70 million people, and that's a very big change. I'm sure all of you will hold on to this great idea. We are a special people, not for ourselves, but for the country and for our people. You will bear it in mind and learn and teach us in these 7 days. I am very confident.
इससे पूर्व स्वागत भाषण में जूलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया के वैज्ञानिक एफ एवं कोर्स डायरेक्टर डॉक्टर सी सिवा पेरुमन ने कार्यक्रम के उद्देश्यों, संरचना और अपेक्षित परिणामों की विस्तृत जानकारी दी.
Sir, this training course sponsored by RT Division, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India. The Zoological Survey of India regularly conduct course for Indian Forest Service. This is a 6th course in the last 3 years and 2nd course in this year, sir. Besides Indian Forest Service officers, we are also conducting training for other services and other stakeholders for local Andaman Nicobar Islands officials. Those training also 2 courses already we completed this year. Besides this IFS course and other stakeholders and other services, we are also conducting Green Skill Development Program under the Ministry of Environment Forest. As you all are aware, more than 30 plus training, GSTP training courses conducting by our Ministry of Environment Forest. ZSI Port Player we are conducting since 2017. More than 6 batches we completed and more than 150 plus unemployed youth we trained under this Green Skill Development Program. We are also conducting training under the Department of Science and Technology under Accelerated Vignan for MSc, MPhil, PhD scholar, 2 weeks workshop we do conduct. And under the banner of Ministry of Earth Science also we do conduct training, symposium, workshop. We are also doing training for Department of Environment Forest officials, classified training, 1 week training, 1 month training also we do conduct, sir, other than regular classes. Also since 2017, IGNFA, CASPOS and Tamil Nadu Forest Academy, whenever visiting to Port Blair, they make a compulsory visit to ZSI Port Blair. So where we give brief about what are the work we are doing in this island and also what are the work in collaboration with the Department of Environment Forest and local administration we are doing, we do briefs, sir. And recently our Ministry of Environment Forest has sanctioned NV Center, previously NV Center, now it's a EACP Center, so which is our center is EACP Center on Island Biodiversity. Under the program also, we are conducting training for students, teachers, PRI members, not only South Andaman, our team, they are traveling across Northern and Middle Andaman group of islands. And by January, February, we are planning to go Southern group also, Central Nicobar as well as Southern Nicobar. Sir, this training course, we received a 46 nomination from Minister of Environment Forest. I was expected 30 plus participants. Due to various reasons, now we have only 21 participants attending this 1 week training course. The objectives of the training course are provide an exposure on current scenario in integrated management of ecotourism and biodiversity conservation in protected area and marine biodiversity conservation, facilitate the understanding of various conservation approaches and good wildlife management practices, enable the participant to appreciate the conservation challenges and the strategies to be developed for effective marine biodiversity conservation, enhancing skill in the latest tool and technique on marine biodiversity conservation and management. This present course designed both the classroom exercise as well as field practical. Today and the last day, that is 8th and 12th, we will have technical session. 4 technical session will be having, sir, 8 different talk. Besides, next 3 days, we'll be taking the trainees to various field visit. Tomorrow we'll be going to Swarajdeep to see the Rani Jhansi Marine National Park. They will be interacting with the forest officials and the local public and conservation and management of Rani Jhansi Marine National Park. And day after tomorrow we'll be taking them to Baratang to see the mangrove ecosystem and also limestone cave. And on 11th, we'll take to Mahatma Gandhi Marine National Park, Chittatop Biological Park, and also we have one session, hands-on training on exposure on intertidal marine fauna. Dr. Deepak Abde is here. He will be leading to for intertidal marine fauna. So, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I extend my sincere thanks to my director, Dr. Dipti Banerjee, and also officials of RT Division, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India. I also express my gratitude to our chief guest, who is readily accepted come over here as a chief guest to inaugurate this inaugural function. I also extend my sincere thanks to our special guest, Dr. R.C. Jairaj, Dr. Deepak Abde, and Dr. Dinesh Khanna.
विशेष अतिथि के रूप में उपस्थित अंडमान निकोबार के मुख्य वन संरक्षक वन्य जीव डॉक्टर एस दिनेश कन्नन IFS ने द्वीपों की अनूठी वनस्पति जैव विविधता विशेषकर तटीय और समुद्री पारिस्थितिकी तंत्र पर प्रकाश डाला.
Biodiversity, it is the backbone of any ecosystem because this biodiversity only provides water, shelter and food to the human beings. Because of the human-induced activities, we are going to a stage that where there will be a threatening to the biodiversity. IFS officers who are all present here, we are the protectors of the biodiversity in our country. When we talk about island ecosystem, it is a bit different from the management of ecosystem in other parts of the country. Being isolated, physically isolated from main part of the country, it has its unique features, advantages as well as disadvantages. Being away and also isolated for years together, endemism is also at its peak and it is high over here in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Even within the islands also we are having endemism. I can say that Nicobar Drango is totally different from Andaman Drango. So there are lot many endemism is there within the islands also. So that makes Andaman and Nicobar Islands as a part of true biodiversity hotspot of the world. You may be knowing in the world we are having 36 biodiversity hotspot, in which 4 are in our country. Among the 4, 2 we can proudly say that Andaman and Nicobar Island is a part of 2 biodiversity hotspot. One is Indo-Malaysian, that is Andaman group of islands, whereas Sundaland is the Nicobar group of islands, I can say. As there being many number of islands, I can say a total of 836 islands, islets and rocky outcrops. These are all joined together to make the Andaman and Nicobar group of islands. And over the geographical area of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, 87% of the geographical area is under forest cover. Only few area is left for development and with the revenue department. So the management of forest as well as wildlife is peculiar and specific to these islands. In Andaman and Nicobar Islands, we are having 96 wildlife sanctuaries, which is the highest of any state in our country. And also we are having 6 national parks, in which 2 are marine national parks. One is Rani Jhansi Marine National Park in Havelock or Suraidip Island, which we will be visiting tomorrow. And another marine national park is the Mahatma Gandhi Marine National Park, that we will be visiting Thursday, I suppose. And we are having one biosphere reserve, Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve. It is UNESCO recognized one. That is also we have in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Apart from this, Andaman is known for its pristine mangroves that you will be visiting on Wednesday when you are going to Bharatan. So we are having that much of beautiful and pristine natural ecosystem over here. Apart from this, white color sandy beaches with blue color sea, it is an attractive and beautiful tourist destination for many of the people in our country, and also people from other countries also visiting these islands for that purpose. So we are having, apart from the natural biodiversity, we do have our own heritage over here that can be witnessed by visiting the cellular jail, and also Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Island, Didan Rose Island, and also Viper Island. These are all the few heritage places which you can visit during your course of time. And I really appreciate the additional director and the program coordinator for making the program in such a way. Only 2 days you are having the lecture session, and all the 3 days you will be in the field to know the management activities what is being carried out by the field officers. You can get the direct input from the field officers that may help you a lot. And I request all the participants, officers to participate the program, 5-day training program actively, and also we are eagerly waiting to get your experience for our better management of the island ecosystem, because you are working at different level, and also from PCCF level to DCF level officers are here, and you are working from Himalayas to marine also. So we are eagerly waiting for the information sharing from your side for the better management of the island ecosystem.
इस प्रशिक्षण में देश के विभिन्न राज्यों से आए कुल 21 वन अधिकारियों भाग ले रहे हैं। 8 से 12 दिसंबर तक चलने वाले इस कोर्स में अंडमान के महत्वपूर्ण तटीय और समुद्री स्थलों का भ्रमण भी शामिल है, जिससे प्रतिभागियों को जैव विविधता मूल्यांकन और संरक्षण की वास्तविक चुनौतियों का प्रत्यक्ष अनुभव मिलेगा। कार्यक्रम के अन्य विशिष्ट अतिथियों में पूर्व प्रधान मुख्य वन संरक्षक डॉक्टर RSC जयराज, IFS तथा बॉम्बे नेचुरल हिस्ट्री सोसाइटी के पूर्व निदेशक एवं वर्तमान में पुणे विश्वविद्यालय में DES के निदेशक पारिस्थितिकी एवं संरक्षण डॉक्टर दीपक आप्टे भी शामिल थे।
Conservation is no longer isolated from social, political and economic considerations. So it's not as easy as what people perceive that department क्या करता है, department में कभी आके देखो क्या क्या करना पड़ता है to achieve the conservation goal. And I must say that despite all these huge population, economic aspirations, we yet managed to do great for a lot of our terrestrial biodiversity. I think marine part is slightly less attended to. because the cadre has never been fully trained into this subject. And marine management is very, very different than terrestrial management, essentially because it's an open access system, not like terrestrial system. So it's always going to be a challenge. Last week I was as a faculty for the CAG training program, and the CAG, what they are trying to do is the audit of SDG goals, for example. And each state has to respond to, to how far we have gone in terms of SDG goals. I was speaking about SDG goal 14, which is life underwater. And when you take the perspective, national perspective for SDG goals, I think reporting is more numerical rather than, measurable aspect. Right? For example, there are a lot of aspects of SDG like water pollution, very easy to monitor. You take water sample, you will get data, good or bad. But when it comes to species progress in terms of how species are doing or how habitats are doing, we do not have much of numerical models available to assess the progress we have made over course of time. And I think that is where the training program or role of ZSI or SIVA, who was earlier with Wildlife Institute of India, now Pondicherry University, have a great role to play in terms of developing a systematic ways by which we will be able to measure SDG goal 14. Otherwise, only certain parameters are measurable, rest is not measurable. Also, our target under SDG is 10% of marine protected area, which I don't think it is ever possible, not just for India, globally. It's not going to be possible to declare national parks or sanctuaries because of obviously, inherent challenges we have under Wildlife Protection Act. But there can be different means and ways by which we can expand protected area network, not necessarily as sanctuary national park, but different means, either OECM or a heritage site, etc., etc. And we need to look at those, or even temporary closures of certain areas for spawning, aggregation, etc., etc. And there is a great opportunity for us to bring this under certain kind of a regime by which we will be able to respond to SDG in terms of our achievements to goal 14. And that will require, I think, thinking beyond Wildlife Protection Act and how we go about it. I also feel personally in marine and coastal, while we are able to do great with Wildlife Protection Act, for some of the charismatic species. For marine, I think delisting some of the species will do good for conservation. And I think we should make efforts at some point of time with government to delist some of the species, which otherwise through regulatory regime we will never be able to protect, like sea cucumbers, for example. No matter how much we do, to confiscate or seizures, illegal trade will continue so long as there is an international market. But today we have a best technology. In fact, India was a pioneering country in developing captive breeding of sea cucumbers globally, besides China. We are not using that technology to do sea ranching, allowing traditional fishermen to do captive breeding of sea cucumbers, do part of it, plow back to the sea so that sea population also recover. And that means we have to take this out from Wildlife Protection Act, because Schedule 1 species, you can't do anything. It's like untouchable. So sometimes I think we will have to look at those models, and in the department, states will have to push for those. I know some of the states doesn't have coast, so this may not make sense to, some of the states, but some states, like you're from Gujarat, officers from Karnataka, I think this certainly can be explored as one way to look at, go back to ministry saying that, look, some of the species, either we will have to make provisions within Wildlife Protection Act where these measures should be allowed, or you delist it. Because listing it not necessarily means great protection. That's my principal view for it. So I think this exposure to these different dimensions, I'll also, suggest ZSI, because ZSI has been doing work on many of these aspects for a large number of years, to also build in, these components into management beyond Wildlife Protection Act. How can we bring in conservation, a different dimension through, even resource harvesting become itself a conservation tool for that matter. With that, I think I will just, stop here. I think you will have a great experience, I'm sure, over a course of next 4 days. For those who have not seen the sea, please enjoy the sea. This is the best waters you will see that we have here.
And I congratulate ZSI and Dr. Shivapraman for taking this forward in a nice manner for the last 3 years. You will definitely enjoy this course. And to talk about this course, initially it was confined only to the coastal states. All the officers were not sponsored. Only the officers from the coastal states were being sponsored. But later on, the ministry thought it's better to involve all the officers, because whatever happens in the coast is not confined to the coast alone. A lot of interaction is there. We are managing natural resources in an integrated way. To just cite an example, what happens in Arunachal Pradesh has impact on Sundarbans, because a lot of sediments come from the forests of Arunachal Pradesh. And for your information, this sedimentation, it is called as Bengal fan. It is very thick near Sundarbans and tapers off and goes up to Sri Lanka. The sediments of Himalayas are going up to Sri Lanka. If you just remove the water and see, you can see this as a thick mat of sediments. So that's the kind of impact. So even though many officers may not get a chance to work in the coast, like for example, if you see there are about 600 odd forest divisions in the country. Out of that, only 10% are coastal. Nearly 70 or 73 divisions, forest divisions, fall along the coast. So not many of you will get a chance to work in the coast or see the marine environment. Most of us are working only in the hills, mountain ecosystems or the plains. But whatever we do there, however we manage the forests and the plains, impacts the coast. The main activities in the coast are the shipping, fishing and the tourism. Recently the tourism has come up, and all these are impacted heavily by what happens inside. Because the fishes go inside for consumption. Whatever comes to the shipping are the products of the mainland from the plains and hills. And tourism, definitely tourists come from the hinterland to see the coast. So all these have various kinds of impact, and this is like a laboratory, the Andamans, where you can see all these happening. It's one of the best managed ecosystems, but it has its own problems. And when you're interacting with the local DFOs and the managers of the parks, there are 2 marine national parks, when you're interacting with them, you can know the kinds of problems the department is facing. Because of in some places, the overuse of resources or excessive use of resources is happening, but these are all things which need to be controlled. So this is please enjoy your stay. This is one of the best places in the country where you can see the island ecosystems in a pristine form. Go around and see all the places, interact with the local officers and interact among yourselves. Definitely you will be having a very nice, enjoyable training.
I, on behalf of Zoological Survey of India, Andaman Nicobar Regional Centre, extend my heartfelt gratitude to our Honourable Chief Guest, Shri G. Balachandran, IAS former Secretary, for gracing this occasion and enlightening all of us with his inspiring words. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Dr. R.S.C. Jayaraj, IFS former Principal Chief Conservator of Forest, for sharing your valuable time and thoughts with us. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Dr. Deepak Apte, Director, ARC, for your continuous guidance and support. Sir, we are truly grateful for your presence and the insights you shared with us. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Dr. S. Dinesh Kannan, IFS Chief Conservator of Forest, Wildlife, Department of Environment and Forest, for gracing this occasion and sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you, sir. I would like to offer our profound thanks to all the IFS officers who have come from different parts of the country. We hope that you gain valuable insights and connections from this training program. We would like to extend our sincere gratitude to Dr. Dhriti Banerjee, Director, Zoological Survey of India, for guidance and support in organizing this event. I also extend my gratitude to our most valued guests, dignitaries and everyone gathered here for their cooperation in the institution of this event. Our sincere thanks to all press and media representatives for their support and cooperation.
यह प्रशिक्षण निश्चित रूप से देश के तटीय और समुद्री क्षेत्रों में कार्यरत वन अधिकारियों के संरक्षण प्रयासों को और अधिक वैज्ञानिक, समन्वित और प्रभावी बनाने में महत्वपूर्ण योगदान देगा।